Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Classic Mini Maintenance Repairs. In this episode I'm going to show you how to install a new radiator and all the silicone hoses that go with it. So let's have a look, see what we need. Okay, so first up we've got the radiator and all the silicone hoses that go with it. I've got a bucket with a measuring gauge inside to mix up the coolant in, a pan to catch the old coolant, some new coolant, some deionised water, some spanners, PTF tape and my socket set. A set of ramps, a long reach screwdriver and a craft knife for scraping off the old gaskets. Okay, so the first thing I've done is get the car on some ramps just to give me some better access underneath. We're going to go ahead and take the front grille off. It's just some Phillips screws along the side and that'll give us better access through the front as well. So I'll go ahead and take these screws off and then we'll crack on the next bit. Okay, so the next stage is to remove this. This is the Thermo switch for the electric fan on the other side of the radiator and the wing there. I find this quite tricky to remove, so what I'm doing is I'm taking two flathead screwdrivers and there's a little kind of plastic ring with two ends on it. One pops at this side, one pops at this side. See, it's quite loose. And there's a little kind of channel for it to go down and twist out. It's just like a kind of plastic locker that stops it falling out. So it's quite stiff, but if you take a flathead and push down on that bit, and then the same going on the other side, and then push down on this bit up on the other side, you can undo it quite easily. There's some radiator fluid popping out of there, so I've got my bucket underneath ready to catch anything that falls out, and we'll see if we can get this off. Okay, that seems to be it, and then it should just pop out. Yep, there we go. So we'll just take the cap off the top and just let that run out. Feel it. There we go. That should drain the system. Now just be careful when you're doing this. Obviously coolant is hazardous, it's bad for the environment. If you get any pets, make sure you dispose of this down to your local refuse site. If a cat or a dog drinks it, it's terminal, they can't recover from it. Same with humans as well, obviously, if you don't want any kids playing about in this stuff. So once it's finished draining, tub it up, take it to your local recycling point, dispose of it correctly. Okay, well, just let that drip for a while and then I'll come back. Okay, so next up you want to go ahead and remove the top mount. Then the hose at the top. Then release the hose at the back of the thermostat. In the housing. Okay. So that's the thermostat housing. That's the thermostat inside. Okay, and there should be a bracket down this side holding the radiator in place as well, but for some reason mine's is missing it. So I'll need to look and see if I can find another one to replace that. I'll go ahead and take the radiator off. Okay, so the next step is at the very bottom of the back of the radiator you'll see a hose with Jubilee clip on it. And you want to take a long flathead and then just reach down, undo that, and then that should be the back end feet. Then just take your overflow off. And it should just lift straight out. Okay, so with the radiator out, it's time to swap over the hoses. What you want to do is have a good look. Make sure you're putting the hoses like for like where they're going. This one goes like this. Bottom bit goes to the radiator and heat and such. And this one goes like so, like that. So do them one at a time, don't get them mixed up. Make sure when you're fitting them that they're not going to rub against anything while they're in there. And if you need to replace any of the Jubilee clips, go ahead and do it now. There's no point waiting. Okay, so that's the connector. I'm just going to take some WD-40 cloth, clean it up, and then go and clean up the actual bits that they go into the engine. They're all kind of crusted up with rust and that, so go ahead and just clean everything up, get it all nice and shiny for the new hoses to grip onto it nice and tight. Then just be careful obviously not to get any of this on the fan belt. Okay, so I've got the thermostat housing here. As you can see, it's all crusty and there's a lot of scum and crud kind of built up in it. So I'm just going to take a few bits and bobs, get a knife, just kind of scrape off the old gasket there, bit of steel wool, some soapy water, and just kind of generally clean it up a bit, make it look a bit nicer. Okay, so next up what we're going to do is take my little kind of craft knife here. We'll use that just to scrape off the old gasket, clear up all the crust in it. First thing we'll do is pop a rag inside the thermostat there, and then that stops any of the rubbish falling back down and getting into the water pump. So pop that in there, and then we'll just scrape along the top. You don't want to do it at an angle and make grooves in the metal, you just want to go along the top of the metal and just scrape off any of the rubbish, like so. Okay. There you go, and that should give us a good base for the sealant and the gaskets. Okay. So with the radiator out, I've taken the opportunity to just clean up all the fins on the radiator, get rid of all the kind of sludge, inspect the subframe and the top mounts and all that kind of stuff. It's a good opportunity to just get in and have a look at what's going on. This will create much better airflow with the clean blades now. Okay, so as you can see, I've painted my cowl blue. I had to cut quite a lot off the cowling to make it fit the new radiator. I've got a review video on this radiator, so if you have a look at that, you'll see what I mean by having to cut some of this off. I'd actually already test fitted this radiator, but unfortunately it slipped as I was installing it. I managed to damage quite a lot of the fins, so I'm quite annoyed about that, but shouldn't make any difference really. So how it works is you need to kind of wiggle it down past the two fans, and then when you get about halfway, take your hose. I've already got new Jubilee clips on there, and then you just kind of, when it's about halfway down, attach your hose, wiggle it back down at the bottom, then connect up the rest of your hoses and tighten them up. So I'll go ahead and get this put in, and hopefully I can do it without damaging any more fins. Okay, so that's about the halfway point. We'll just rest the back end of the radiator on top of the subframe there, and we'll try and work this in. Okay, so that's the bottom hose connected. It is a bit tricky, so it might take a few attempts. Just be really careful not to damage your fins on the fan blade there. And now with the two hoses connected, what you want to do is get the radiator up on top of its bracket ears at the bottom, and then get its bolt through, and then once that's all connected you can start tightening up your hoses and getting the right angles for the pipes. Okay, so now that the radiator's in position and everything's all tightened up, what you want to do is take your long reach screwdriver, manoeuvre your Jubilee clip into position and then tighten it up. Be very careful not to let the screwdriver slip and stab the silicone pipe, and then after that you can screw in the one for the back of the water pump. Okay. Okay, so with the bottom and the water pump Jubilees tightened up, we've now got the thermostat and the heater valve pipes. It's slightly different shape and it's slightly longer, so I'm just going to have to cut this down before I fit it. I'd rather it was slightly longer than too short, so it's not really that much of an issue. Okay. Okay, so that's all the hoses connected back up here. They're all brand new Jubilee clips, so it looks smart. Okay, so here we are back inside the car. As you can see, I've got the dashboard out. We've got the two pipes coming through the bulkhead, one for the valve, another one for the return, and they lead down and go into the side of the heater box just there. One of them has a kind of bend to it, another one's a straight pipe. The straight pipe's the one closest to me, the one that's bent is the one behind it. And then it's the same again, just a bucket underneath to catch any fluids, under the Jubilee clips, make sure they're undone on the other side, pull the old ones through, push the new ones through and join them back up, and that's pretty much us done. This one's a little bit stuck on. There we go. Oh, that stinks. Okay, so first up we take your gasket sealant. You just want to put a nice amount on here. You don't want to put too much down. You don't want to get any inside the housing, just enough to cover the topsole like that. Again, if you get any inside, make sure you get it out quick. Okay, then you want to take on your gaskets and place it over so. Just press it down. And just wipe up the excess around the edges. Can be a bit of a messy job this, so it's best to wear gloves. Don't want to get this stuff in your skin, it does stink a little bit. Some more sealant. Okay, and this goes on top. Like so. Thermostat. That goes on there like that. Then you want some more sealant. Spin it round. Make sure you got all the edges. Okay, and then your last gasket goes on top. And it goes like so. And a little bit more gasket sealant. Okay, then the top goes on, and then thread the bolts through. Okay, now you don't want to tighten them all at once. Do a little bit on each one first, so that it all goes down evenly. So as soon as you start to feel resistance, let up, go to the next one. Do a little bit more, go to the next one, and so on, until you start to feel some proper resistance. Okay. And just start tightening up. Now you don't want to go so tight that you start stripping threads in that, but it does need to be quite reasonably tight. Obviously there's going to be a lot of pressure in here. You don't want any leaks. So just do a little bit on each bolt at a time. Okay, so I'd say that's tight enough. There's some reasonable resistance there, so that's good enough for me. So now the thermostat's all back together, we can go ahead and put the radiator bracket back on. And it should fit together, although I have butchered the cowl quite a bit, so I'm sceptical. No, it all seems to line up okay, so I'll just go ahead and put that in. Okay, feels solid enough. Right, so the last thing to do is put the hose back on for the top of the radiator. The hose that comes with the kit and the hose that came off the original is completely different. It's got a different angle to it, different length. Seems like it'll work, so I'll try and test fit it. I'll maybe cut an inch off this side first and then see how we go from there. I'm just going to take this PTFE tape, plumber's tape, and wrap some around the threads of the drain plug here. You don't need a lot, just a few going overs, and pull it. That's it. It's already got a big rubber bung on it anyway, but this is just extra protection just to stop it getting past the threads, and then the final bit of protection is the actual rubber O-ring. So just a little bit of extra protection, and then just screw it back in, tighten it up. Don't want to over tighten it. Remember, this is aluminium, so it will strip the threads if you go too far. And that's us. Just need to fill up some coolant and we're good to go. Okay, so I'm ready to fill the radiator up with coolant now. Just going to take the cap off, fill it up with coolant, replace it with a damp cloth. Then we turn the heating on, and then I'm going to turn the car on, let it run, and as the car warms up, the thermostat will kick in, and then as the water gets sucked out of the radiator into the engine itself, I'll top this up with coolant again, let it run for a while, and then let it run some more. Keep an eye on it and just top it up as and when needed. Okay. Now, if you remember from the previous video, this alloy radiator that I bought is supposed to be for the SPI, but it doesn't actually come with a hole for the thermal plug to go in. So the plug normally goes there on the old radiator, and there's no screw on this. It was just a kind of plastic locking nut that was on it, and there's nothing on this for the old one. So I've already got my water temperature sensor for the gauges. So that will give me an indication on the dash how hot the radiator's getting, and then if I decide the car's getting a little bit too hot, or if I'm stuck in slow moving traffic on a hot day, or out caning it in the country roads and getting the engine really hot, I can just reach over to the dash, flip on my switch and turn the auxiliary fan on for a bit extra cooling. Okay, so that's me finally installed the radiator. There's been a number of issues with this. This is the Chinese radiator that I bought off eBay. It's taken me the best part of 2 days to fit this. There's been a lot of issues with hoses not fitting properly, having to cut down the cowl and such. But if you're buying a proper brand name radiator, you could probably knock this out in a day, no problem. I'm just going to go around the Jubilee clips, make sure they're all tightened up. I'm not going to have any leaks. I'll do a little video on flushing the system, because often it's quite corroded inside, there's a lot of gunk. Yeah, that's it, pretty much done. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.